Hello, gorgeous. Welcome to the Soul Led Millionaire podcast. In this show, I will teach you how to manifest the life of your dreams and become a soul led millionaire yourself. We will go deep on all things money, mindset, manifestation, self-love, spirituality, and more. I can't wait to bring you this content. So sit back, relax, listen in, and let's get into today's episode. Hello, my beautiful friends. Welcome back to another episode. So today we're talking about the gratitude experiment that produces crazy manifestations. It produces crazy results, but also not surprising results. And you might be wondering why I'm talking specifically about this topic. And it's because I am running a challenge this week, a free challenge with my audience on this specific experiment, which I'm going to tell you about in this episode. But if you want to hear more about it and the original episode that I created about this experiment, it's a video, it's on YouTube. I will link it in the show notes below so you can go and watch it. But I highly, highly recommend you go and watch it so you can learn about this experiment. When I was doing it a few years ago, how I learned about it, which was through a friend who was doing this experiment herself to manifest love and to manifest really good career opportunities, and how she actually manifested that through this experiment and more. I even updated her story. I left a little update, so you might want to check that out. And also like my experience with it at the time. And then in this episode, I want to talk about my results basically since I've been doing that and what it's been like living with an attitude of gratitude, and then how you can get started with it yourself doing this experiment, because I'm sure you want crazy, amazing manifestations, right? I'm sure you want epic results. And it is this simple way of doing this that you can get those results. So let's get started on that. So when it comes to gratitude, I feel like it is so known, like it's so well known, it's so popular, like everyone knows how gratitude helps. Yet it's almost like because people know this, they don't do it, right? It's like knowing that you have to drink 8 glasses of water a day. But do you? Do you really? Because I definitely don't. And I know I should. I feel like it's sort of, people have an attitude like that towards gratitude. Maybe it's because it feels like it's too simple, or maybe it's because it feels like it's too easy, or maybe there's like resistance towards being grateful or having an attitude of gratitude. I'm not entirely sure what it is and why people don't do it so much. But I want to change your opinion on that. I want you to get out of this resistance that you may have towards it. Maybe it's a limiting belief. Maybe it's a doubt about it. I want you to just like shake that off. Like shake it off. We don't need to feel that way about a really, really beautiful state that you can be feeling every day by your own creation, right? I want you to like let it go. Let's move any resistances we may have about gratitude to the side, and let's start reaping the rewards from this amazing inner state. Okay? Why is gratitude important? Why do we need to do it? Well, we don't need to do it, but life is so much better when you do, right? I'm sure you've had moments where maybe you have had like a little bout of gratitude. Maybe someone gave you something that was totally unexpected and you felt amazing. Or maybe you just had a beautiful moment in your day and you just felt grateful for everything around you. Whatever it was, you know what it's like to be in that state, right? You know what it's like. And maybe over time life has gotten you down. Maybe you have spent a long time living in maybe a lack or scarcity mindset. Maybe you haven't been feeling great. Maybe life has come at you from every angle and it hasn't been good. So you haven't necessarily either had the time or had the willingness to want to live in this kind of attitude. But for those reasons, gratitude can totally help you. It can totally transform what is going on within you and also what is going on externally, right? Because as you know, everything is us pushed out. Everything that's going on within is happening without. Everything within is a reflection in the external world, right? And so, because I want you to start getting into a attitude of gratitude, I know it can feel awkward at first, right? I know you may be resistant to it. I know it might feel lame or a little stupid. But the reason you want to keep persisting in this is because what you are doing is essentially living in the end, right? You're living in the end of having what it is you want. You're living in the end of being the person you want. You are living in the end state. And the end state is where we manifest everything, right? Whatever we are dominantly focusing on, that is for us is the end state, right? So you may have been doing this, and most likely you have, automatically about things that you don't want, things that aren't in your favor. Maybe you're feeling like you're being forgotten about or left behind or not shown up for with your partner or potential partner. That's an end state, right? When you don't feel like you are getting shown up for, that's the end state that you're living in. But if you switched it to feeling like you were getting shown up for and feeling grateful for that, that would be the end state that you're living in. Maybe with money, you're not feeling like things are working. You feel like things are a struggle or a strain, or you're constantly stressed about money. And so you're coming at your business or your work from this energy. That's an end state, right? So when it comes to deliberately creating your life, you want to get into the end state of the thing you actually want, right? We're always living in an end state, but most of the time it's not serving us. So when we flip into gratitude and we start giving thanks for the things that we want, the things that we have, maybe even the things that we have had or have manifested in the past, it places us in the end state that we want. It places us in an empowered state that we want to be in, right? This is why gratitude is so important, because it easily gets you into that end state. And so what happens when you're there in that end state, right? When you're living there, when you're choosing this particular state, when you're choosing gratitude, when you're choosing to feel thankful for whatever it is that you want to feel thankful for, which is like anything, you can choose anything. It is keeping you in that emotional state of fulfillment, of completion, of satisfaction, of wholeness, of feeling finished, right? That's the end. That is the absolute end, right? Fulfillment is the absolute end. We want to feel fulfilled everywhere, in every aspect of our lives, right? And gratitude is one of the easiest ways to get there instantly into that state of fulfillment. And as you know, when you're living in that state of fulfilled, complete, whole, satisfied, satiated, finished, what has to come to you? What do you attract now? What are you a magnet for in that state? You're a magnet to things that complete you, that continue to complete you, that continue to fulfill you, that continue to make you feel satisfied, whole, complete, finished, satiated. You continue to attract those things, magnetize those things, those experiences, all from living in this grateful end state, right? It's pretty powerful stuff. And even though we're in like only halfway through this challenge with my audience for this 7-day gratitude experiment that we're doing, the results that they're getting are pretty insane. Like they're getting clients reaching out, people wanting to work with them, money is showing up, they're feeling better about themselves as a whole, which I think is like a very, very important one, if not more important than the physical things that they're manifesting. And that's just from like, I think we're only 3 or 4 days in. That's only from 3 or 4 days of deliberately choosing to feel grateful, having an attitude of gratitude, right? Amazing stuff. And that's just from a couple of days. Imagine if you did this for 30 days. If you did this for 365 days, how crazy would shit be? How amazing would you be living Like what would your life be like? How would you feel overall? You would be so full. You would be overflowing with love, with gratitude, with joy, happiness, all the feel good vibes if you just started to develop an attitude of gratitude. Now, when it comes to me, when it comes to my results and from doing this work, and I haven't done it every day, like I don't deliberately practice gratitude every day, but I do have it as like a dominant feeling, a dominant feeling of being grateful for my life, but I don't deliberately set time aside to do it, right? Although I will happily do it anytime that I remind myself to. But my results, and I'm just going to talk about a few things because there's a lot of things that gratitude naturally helps, because when you're living in the end state of like the ultimate end, life as a whole gets so much better and so much more fulfilling. But I'll talk specifically about money and how just infusing gratitude and love into money, like my entire experience with money, it's just, it's quite crazy. I used to feel like I had to really work hard, right? Of course, we all feel like that, but I really felt like I had to like pay my dues and really push in my business, right? And I don't know whether I was fully conscious of it then, but it still felt like I was like really working, like I was on this hamster wheel to make money. Even though I was making really, really good money, it just felt like I was still working hard for it. Not that you shouldn't work hard, but I think that when you do it in excess, it's kind of canceling the whole process out, right? So anyway, as I started to get into this more grateful end state and how I wanted to feel in that fulfilled end, for me, it was like, oh, I feel full. Like I feel, it's sort of like relief, but more of a completion, right? Like this is done. Like I really don't have to worry about this. This is so done for me. Like I'm so grateful to be making the amount of money that I want to be making and for it to be increasing without me really having to do a thing, without me having to take any extra actions or to do unnecessary things that I feel like I have to do, or because this marketing person said that I should, I now have to. I just want to feel grateful for the fact that it's already done. The fact that I feel so good not having had to do anything more. And so when I looked at my physical experience, like what was actually physically showing up, is that my income continued to increase, right? Like I stabilized it for a really, really good amount of time. And I was really happy, really, really happy with it. But I didn't feel the need to like push anymore to make anymore. And that was the problem. Like I felt like I had to push. Like if I've gotten to this level from all the work that I've done, now if I want to get to the next level, I've got to push in some way. And I didn't want to feel like that. I was like, no, if I'm going to increase my income, it's going to literally be without me having to lift a finger. I'm not going to have to take any crazy action or do anything extra. I will do the things that I know that feel good to me, that actually feel like they're giving me life, because that is my intuition telling me like, this is my path to making the money that I want in the way that I want, that feels good to me, that I want to do, right? I would do regardless of whether I was making money or not. And so as I've been more in that place of gratitude, of just feeling grateful, of living in that end, the amount my income has increased without me feeling like I'm doing anything extra is quite insane. But also it's not. Like, to me, it's crazy, but at the same time, it's so not surprising, because when you're living in that end, when you're living in this complete state, this fulfilled state, it makes sense. It's like it can't help but show up in the way that you're expecting it to, because you're feeling grateful for it, that it's shown up in that way, right? And when it comes to my finances, my whole thing has been about creating really stable environments in my finances, also in my business, but we're talking specifically about money right now. Just really stable, solid environments. So that's just like pouring money into, not pouring, like transferring money every time I pay myself over into my retirement account, into my investment account, into my savings accounts, into my everyday accounts, and like letting it stack, right? And so I'm sure I've talked about this before, where we have different like set points for the different types of ways that we use money, right? So we have set points for our debt, we have set points for our income, we have set points for our savings, we have set points for our spending. So I've found that as I've been just being grateful for having a fuck ton of money in the bank, all of my accounts have been increasing, right? Even my spending account, which is quite unusual because usually I do like spending money and I do have expenses that I like to spend money on. But that has also been increasing, and just seeing the stability in these accounts as I have been giving gratitude for having stability in these accounts without doing anything different, right? Like, because it's all automated. It all like transfers itself. I don't have to deliberately go in and like transfer money over to any of these accounts. But seeing that like they're constantly growing and that more and more money is showing up, and these accounts are actually, depending on what type of accounts they are, adding more money in, right? Because like if you have a high yield savings account or if you're investing, then obviously like the amounts are going to change and grow. And it's just been pretty amazing to see this happening in real time without me feeling like I'm having to push so much for it. And it is an effect of that gratitude, the attitude of gratitude, of living in that end, right? Now, if we move on to relationships and how I've been feeling grateful for my relationships, I have really, really amazing relationships. I've curated like an incredible bunch of people in my life, and I love every single person. But what that has done in terms of like the physical experience I am coming into contact with in my real life of feeling grateful for my relationships is they're just getting so much better. They're getting so much richer. Like me and my best friend have become so much closer this year. Like we're close. Like we've been friends since we were 5 years old. Like we are really, really close. But we have bonded so much deeper this year from doing this kind of work, like gratitude and love, infusing love into this. And it's been so enriching and so fulfilling having this new relationship essentially with my best friend who I've known since we were 5. It's like, if you do have a friendship like that where you've known each other forever and you've had the opportunity to like go deeper in your relationship together, it's just amazing, eh? Like when you get to have more of a relationship with someone that you have had a relationship with for such a long time, it's so fulfilling, it's so sustaining, and I've loved it. And it's not just with my friendships, it's with my relationship with my mum has been amazing. Also with like I've just joined the gym, right? And I wanted to join it because there were a couple of reasons, and I'll talk about it in a future episode. But I mainly wanted to join it because I wanted to do specific classes, like a yoga, Pilates type of class, to get my, flexibility and strength up. But I also wanted to go because I wanted to meet people. I wanted to just meet, like have a bit more interaction with people outside of, manifestation mindset, online business world, and family and friends. And literally the first day I went into one class, I said hello to this woman, and she was just like fully like so happy to talk to me, so lovely. And then we wound up like talking as a group amongst that were like of women that were coming into the class, and they were telling me about everything, and they just like made me feel so welcome. Like I felt like immediately I was like, you're in the community, you're in the club. And then as we did this particular class, like they would like sort of come over and would bunch up and do the exercises together. And it was so nice. It was so unexpected too, but it was so nice. And it felt good. It felt sustaining. It felt life-giving. And it was exactly how I wanted to feel living in that end state of gratitude. Like it's like as you live in that attitude of gratitude and you feel fulfilled, so many things that fulfill you come into your life, like things you don't even expect to happen. That's why I like this feeling, this emotion of practicing gratitude and living in a state of gratitude, because it just makes life better. And then also in the relationships thing, I've noticed that I'm getting more and more emails from you beautiful people, of people sharing their stories with me, sharing how my work is impacting them, or things that I've said that really resonated with them, with you. And I love it. Like, I love talking to you. I love getting those messages. And like, I used to get them before, but it's like they've increased so much more now. And that's an effect of this work yet again, living in that end of fulfillment, of just thankful to have it all and have this fulfillment from my relationships, right? And then the final thing I'll talk about, listen, it's not an exhaustive list, but in terms of results, like, that I'm really happy with, is self-love, loving myself. The dynamic that gratitude and love, like pouring it into myself and how I feel about myself and how I see myself, has made me, I don't even know if I can find the words for it, but like, it's turned me into a person I love, I respect, I'm so deeply in love with. Like, I'm protective of, I care about myself deeply, and I love the person that I am, and I love the way that I show up, and I love just who I've become. I said this the other day on Instagram, that this is like my favorite stage of life so far, where I feel like me, like more me, like the most me that I've ever been, from this work, from pouring into myself, taking care of myself. And it kind of goes back to last week's episode where I talked about how I'm infusing feminine energy into my business. It's how I'm infusing it into me as well. And I love how it's opening up my heart, where I feel safe, more and more safe, to be in this open-hearted space more, like, consistently. It's not just like when I'm around people that I feel safe with, or when I'm, in my safe place at home. It's like when I'm out in the world and situations are happening, or I'm around people, specifically men, that I get more protective of myself and I kind of close up. In the past, I'm seeing that I'm far more open. My heart is much more open, and it's remaining open. It's not closing up, which it used to all the time. And so as I've been pouring that gratitude and love into myself, that's what's showing up. And I am feeling so good, so fulfilled. Oh my God, I just love it. I love this work. I love it. And I've seen people doing the challenge who have been getting results like this, like have been feeling this way as well. And honestly, I want you to have all the results, because you will get all the results if you continuously practice this new emotional state, living in the end with gratitude. But if I could pick one thing that I wanted for you, it would be that. It would be pure self-love, love for yourself, wholeness, fulfillment, and just being your own best friend. Like, just, I can't explain it any better than that. So now that you know how practicing gratitude has affected me and how I love it so much, I hope you're convinced now that you should take on an attitude of gratitude. It really isn't hard to do. I hope that you're ready to just leave all the resistances, hesitations aside, and you want to pour into this. You want to give yourself the gratitude. You fill your cup up with thankfulness, with living in that end, with fulfillment. I hope you're there, because I'm going to tell you how to do it. It's very, very easy. So your experiment is exactly the same as the one in the YouTube video, but I always recommend you starting off with 7 days. 7 days, it's easy to do, and you can see it in real time how it's affecting you, right? But for 7 days, I want you to pick a time and place every single day that you will express gratitude. And that's it. So maybe it's in the morning as you're making and eating breakfast. You will express gratitude then. Maybe it is while you're driving to work, or while you're dropping your kids off at school. Maybe it is while you are working out. Maybe it's the evening when you're doing your journaling. whatever it is, whenever it is, pick a time and place that you're going to do this gratitude. Now, how you do that gratitude is entirely up to you. You can say it out loud to yourself. You can say, I'm so grateful for XYZ. Or I love XYZ. Or you can write it. Or you can riff it. You can like go on a full-on rampage and talk about how much you love your life and love what's in it. But I recommend expressing gratitude for not just what you want, but also what you have manifested and what you have now. Like what you're grateful for now. There's a lot to be grateful for now, right? And mix it up. You don't have to be like, okay, now I'm going to be grateful for this thing that happened in the past. Now I'm going to be grateful for the present. And now I'm going to be grateful for the future. Just mix it up. Have fun with it. Like make it a fun practice. The funner it is, the more you'll do it, right? And so as you're doing this, personally, I love to riff. I love to go, I love my home. I love how my home feels. I love everything in my home. I love that every single thing in this room was intentionally bought by me for a specific purpose, right? But if you're finding it hard to go into what you love or what you're feeling grateful for, as you say your phrase, like maybe if you're saying, I'm so grateful for my cat, or I love that my dog is the cuddliest, cutest thing ever. And if you find it hard to sort of move on from that or carry on, you can ask yourself mentally, what do I love about it? Like elaborate more on what I love about the thing I've just expressed that I loved. So if I talk about how much I love my cat, my beautiful little cat Ava, and say I can't think of more things after that, I would then ask myself, well, what do I love about Ava? I'm like, wow, I love her personality. She is just so quirky. I love that she was so persistent in being mine, literally followed me around the house from the outside, jumped on all the windowsills. I love her determination. I love that when she comes in through the cat door first thing in the morning, she like comes up and jumps on me and buffs me in the face. Like I love her. She is just such a beautiful, loving little angel cat, and I'm so glad she came into my life, right? You can elaborate it on specific things like that if you're finding it hard. But it's that simple. I'm so grateful for, or I love. That's it. That's it. And as you do this, right, an example could be like if you're wanting to move between the different topics of like, I'm grateful for my home. I'm grateful for my couch. I'm grateful for my car. You can move into what you want once it feels good. Once you feel like, okay, I feel like I'm starting to feel more like full. I'm feeling more excited. I'm feeling more happy. You can move into it and then you can just be grateful for whatever you want, right? So I'm so grateful that I'm making 10K months, or I'm making 10K a week, or 10K a day. I'm so grateful that I have found I have curated the most perfect wardrobe of like the sexiest, beautiful, gorgeous outfits for my body that fit it so perfectly. I am so grateful that I have just bought myself a G-Wagon. I don't know. Maybe you want a G-Wagon. I'm so grateful that this beautiful item of furniture that I have been waiting for, that's been I've been on a wait list for forever, has finally come in and I can finally buy it. I'm so grateful for the most incredible husband or wife I could ever ask for. Literally, I don't even know how this person exists. He just came out of nowhere, and I'm so, so grateful for him or her, right? You can have fun with it. Go on a riff, like talk about it as if you were telling someone about it, right? And they're so annoyed because they're like, I'm sick of how happy you are. You can go that far, right? But it's just getting yourself into this state of seeing what you want is yours and living in the fulfillment of that, right? And then, of course, like once you're finished, you're going to be riding high. It's going to be like you're not going to feel anything else other than just pure bliss. And that's great. I want you to hold on to that as much as you can throughout your day. Obviously, life will come at you and it will feel, sometimes you'll forget about it, or something will throw you a curveball and then you'll be like, not in a great space. But whatever it is, try to hold on to that feeling as much as you can. And if you want to, you can give some more gratitude, share some more gratitude, or maybe wait till the evening when you're about to go to bed. You can do the gratitude again. But it's just about getting yourself into this attitude of gratitude, making it a dominant way of being. Because from that state, everything manifests. You don't even have to get specific if you don't want to. But it is fun to get specific and get like wrapped up in the ideas of what you want, right? But that from this state, everything manifests. Like you don't have to keep your finger on the pulse of every single thing that you want, because you're already in the overall state of fulfillment. So everything that will fulfill you, which means that every desire that's on your heart will manifest from that without you having to constantly be on it, right? Okay. All right, lovely. I hope you enjoyed this episode. I hope that was helpful, and I hope that's more clear. And I hope you are now excited to start a gratitude practice, like to start building an attitude of gratitude, because man, gratitude gets slept on so much and I don't want that anymore. I want you to love expressing how grateful you are for everything, for life, the fact that you're here, that the fact that you get to experience it all. I want you to enjoy this. I want you to feel that bliss, to feel that fulfillment, to feel that love every day. If you do, my job is done. My work is done. I will be so happy to hear that, right? Okay, so that's it for me. Of course, if you would like to work with me more, I have a ton of amazing courses and ebooks that I would love for you to check out and sign up for. But if you're not on my email list, my gosh, you need to get on there right now. I have a free Vault resource library of 15 plus manifestation and money mindset resources they're free, like they're for you. So if you haven't joined yet, get on that, like at least do that. Otherwise, come and join me in one of my programs. I would love to see you in Money Mindset School. Of course, that is like my baby, and it is a magical membership. Everyone loves it, and you will get massive results in it. But other than that, I will see you next week. Bye.